to constitutional remedies. What are the right to constitutional remedies? They are mentioned in the Articles 32, 35 of the Indian Constitution. So, where do we find the right to constitutional remedies in our Indian Constitution? They are mentioned in the articles from 32 to 35 of the Indian Constitution. Our Constitution contains a very impressive list of fundamental rights. As we discussed in the previous module, Indian Constitution contains a set of very impressive list of fundamental rights. But just writing down the list of rights is not enough. Why? Only if you give the rights, their implementation is not guaranteed. So, there has been a way through which they could be realized in practice and defended against any attack on these rights. Just not merely writing down the rights, they also guaranteed a realized practice and they defended. The rights are defended against any form of attack. That is right to constitutional remedies. Let us see them here. The right to constitutional remedies means through which it is being achieved in case if your fundamental rights are violated. From the articles given from 30 to 35, there are provisions through which you can achieve your fundamental rights through a constitutional way, that is constitutional remedies. Dr. B.R. Ambedkar, as you can see the picture here, considered the right to constitutional remedies as the heart and soul of the Constitution. He described the right to constitutional remedies as the heart and soul of the Indian Constitution. It is also been said because these rights given to citizens, the right to approach High Court or Supreme Court to get any fundamental rights restored in case of their violation. So, what are constitutional remedies? Why are they important? What did Dr. B.R. Ambedkar feel about the right to constitutional remedies? We are looking at in this video. So, as we can see here, our Constitution has a list of fundamental rights that are very impressive. But just writing down the list of rights is not sufficient to achieve them. So, in order to achieve them in practice and to defend them against any kind of attacks on these rights, the right to constitutional remedies has been added to the Indian Constitution, which is mentioned in the articles 32 to 35. Dr. B.R. Ambedkar considers that the right to constitutional remedies is the heart and the soul of the Indian Constitution. Why means it enables the citizen to approach to a High Court or a Supreme Court to get any of the fundamental rights. If they are violated, they can be restored through this right to constitutional remedies. The Supreme Court and the High Court can issue the orders and give directives to the government for the enforcement of rights according to right to constitutional remedy. In case any individual finds his rights being violated, especially the fundamental right, then he can approach the Supreme Court or High Court and make the courts to issue orders to the governments for the enforcement of his or her rights according to right to constitutional remedy. In order to make the Supreme Court or the High Court to issue them. They issue writs to the government to safeguard the fundamental rights of the citizens. The courts, in order to safeguard the rights, they issue various special orders known as writs. What are writs? Writs are the special orders given by the court, like Supreme Court or High Court, if they find any of the fundamental rights of the individual are being violated, and if the citizen approaches the court, then they pass orders to the government giving directives for the enforcement of their rights. Such orders which are given on these instances are known as writs. In that, the first one is habeas corpus, second one mandamus, third one prohibition, fourth one quo warrant, and the last one certiorari. There are 5 writs which are issued by the Supreme Court or High Court to protect the fundamental rights of the citizens. As you can see here, first one habeas corpus, second one mandamus, third one prohibition, fourth one quo warranto, and last one certiorari. These are the writs which are issued by the Supreme Court or High Court to protect the rights of the individual. Now, the Supreme Court or High Court can issue the orders or writs like habeas corpus, mandamus, prohibition, quo warranto, and certiorari through the right to constitutional remedies, which are mentioned in Articles 32 to 35 of the Indian Constitution. So, in this module, we learned about the right to constitutional remedy. As the name it is suggesting, you will have remedies by the Constitution if there is a violation to your fundamental rights. These constitutional remedies are discussed in our Constitution from Article 32 to 5. Dr. Ambedkar called these rights, especially the right to constitutional remedies, as the heart and soul of our, because it guarantees protection against the fundamental rights. Now, in case the rights are violated, citizens can approach the Supreme Court or High Court of the respective state and make an appeal for issuing of orders for reinforcement of their rights. The orders issued by the Supreme Court or High Court in the eve of reinforcement of fundamental rights are known as writs. And we have 5 types of writs can be issued on this occasion. Habeas corpus, mandamus, prohibition, quo warranto, and certiorari. These are the writs which can be issued by the court to protect the rights of the. So the court can issue various special orders known as writs, as we discussed in the previous module. So in this module, we are going to learn about the habeas corpus. What is habeas corpus? A writ habeas corpus means that the court orders that an arrested person should be presented before the court, and it can also order to set free an arrested person if the manner of the or the grounds of arrest are not lawfully satisfactory. So, habeas corpus deals with the court orders about arresting an individual. If a person is already arrested, he need to be produced before the court. It also deals with the provision that if the person who is taken into custody can also be set free if the court feels the grounds on which the individual is arrested is not lawfully satisfactory. So, habeas corpus writ can be issued in two conditions. One, to make sure the arrested individual to be submitted to the court. Two, to free the individual. The court feels that the grounds on which the individual is taken into custody is unlawful or not satisfactory according to the law. So this is the first type of writ that can be issued by the courts in order to protect the rights of the citizens. The writs. These are the special orders which are given by the courts known as writs. We are discussing about the second writ that can be issued, that is mandamus. What is mandamus? Mandamus is the writ that is issued when the court finds that a particular office holder is not doing the legal duty and thereby is infringing on the rights of the individual. So, if the court finds any particular officer who is in charge of an office is not discharging his regular legal duty, then because he is not doing his duty properly, that is going to affect and it's infringing, causing a problem on the rights of the individuals, then court can issue this order, that is mandamus, find that particular office is not doing the duty well, ask them to discharge their duties properly. This is the writ which is known as mandamus. Here it is making sure the officer who is holding the government position should do his duty legally and should not create any disturbance for the rights of the individual. About the writ prohibition. The prohibition. What is prohibition? What conditions is this writ being issued? Prohibition is the writ that is issued by High Court or Supreme Court when they find a lower court has considered a case going beyond its jurisdiction. So prohibition means it is trying to prohibit the activity of the lower court when it tries to work beyond its jurisdiction. When the jurisdictions are clearly specified, but knowingly or unknowingly, if the lower courts go beyond their jurisdiction, then the writ prohibition is issued by the High Court or the Supreme Court to stop and check the lower court and its jurisdiction. This writ is issued by High Court or Supreme Court to check the action of the lower court when it's going beyond its jurisdiction. And 2. When is this writ being issued? If the court finds that a person is holding office but is not entitled to hold that office, if the court gets the information or finds the person who is holding an office is not entitled to or should not hold the office, then in order to prevent that, the court issues the writ of quo warranto and restricts the person from acting as an office holder. So, if a not entitled person or a not eligible person is being placed in the office, then the court can issue this writ of quo warranto and restrict that particular person from acting as an office holder. Basically, in order to stop the incapable, incorrect person holding that office, is the purpose of this writ quo warranto. This is the last writ what we are going to look into, that is certiorari. It is written as CERTIORARI, but it is pronounced as certiorari. This is pronounced as certiorari. What is this writ? Under this writ, the court can order the lower court or the authority to transfer a matter pending before it to the higher authority or court. In case if there is any pending issue in front of the lower court or any authority that is dealing with an issue which is in pending, then the higher courts can order to transfer pending issue to their jurisdiction. So to bring it to their authority so that they can look into it. That is the writ of certiorari. This is the last writ what we have in the Indian Constitution, dealing with Article 35, the right to constitutional remedies. Apart from the judiciary, many other mechanisms have been created in the later years for the protection of the rights of the individuals. So it is not only the rights which are protected by the courts, they also have other agencies, other mechanisms which also protect the rights of the individual. They are the National Commission of Minorities, the National Commission on Women, National Commission on Scheduled Caste, etc. So these are the different commissions that are being established, are the different mechanisms that are being created in order to protect the rights of the individuals in the later years after the Constitution has been drafted. Now, these institutions protect the rights of women, minorities, or Dalits. The rights of women are protected by the National Commission on Women. The rights of the minorities are protected by the National Commission on Minorities. The National Commission on Scheduled Caste and Scheduled Tribe looks into the issues of the Dalits. Besides these commissions, these mechanisms, there is the National Human Rights Commission has also been established by law to protect the fundamental and other kinds of rights. So in total, we have 4 different commissions to look into protection of the rights apart from judiciary. So 1, the National Commission on Minorities. 2, the National Commission on Women. 3, the National Commission for SC and ST to take care the issues related to Scheduled Caste and Scheduled Tribe. And we also have the National Human Rights Commission which are established by law to protect the fundamental and the other kinds of rights. Why do we need the National Human Rights Commission? Now, the real test of rights given by any constitution is in their actual implementation. Just only mentioning the constitution will not serve the purpose. It has to be implemented. While we are implementing it, it gives us the real test for the rights. Especially the poor, the illiterate, and the deprived sections of the society must be able to exercise their rights. We have granted them the rights, but the poor, the illiterate, and the deprived sections will not be able to exercise them because they may not be aware of it. They don't know what rights they have. So the independent organizations like People's Union of Civil Liberties or People's Union for Civil Liberties, known as PUCL, or People's Union for Democratic Rights, known as PUDR, have been working as watchdogs against the violations of rights. We have some voluntary organizations which are independent organizations. These are non-government organizations like People's Union for Civil Liberties and People's Union for Democratic Rights, which are actually looking as watchdogs against the violation of the rights. In this background, the government has established the year 1993 an institution known as the National Human Rights Commission to look into the violation of the rights. So we have the rights which are guaranteed in the Constitution, but the real test comes to us only while we are implementing them, especially with the sections of the society like the poor, illiterate, and the deprived section. We have some private organizations and independent organizations such as People's Union for Civil Liberties, People's Union for Democratic Rights, working as watchdogs against the violation of rights. In this background, the Government of India has established in 1993 an institution named the National Human Rights Commission, the year 1993. Look at the violations of rights. The government established commission. These are private commissions.